10 o'clock. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right, good morning, everybody. We're back. We are going to continue our briefing and call Pack Mountain to come to the table. I was going to say your name and it morphed.
All ran together.
Yeah, it was great. You guys can come up to the table too if you'd like.
It's a quiz show. We're
I
gonna do.
really feel like I really want to put them on the spot.
I do. I'll ask them questions.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I warned them though.
Yeah.
We keep them in the other needs.
Do you?
Sometimes.
So it is the reports are online on the Pack Mountain website.
And they're also in our packet.
Okay, great.
Do you want to share them online though for the folks online or?
Could do that. Cameron, you want to do that or you want me to?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
on the Pack Mountain website under the About section.
Well, I don't know how to do it on that.
Or we can just
share
access it
that.
Or if
through
it's in the
briefing.
packet.
If I can
Yeah.
share my screen.
I'm not sure how they did the impact reports are printable, but the annual report is not. Yeah, well, it's my first time going there too because I can't find it.
It's okay. You want a copy of it? You want to look at my, I'll show you my screen.
It's coming up. It's just going a little slow.
Sorry, I don't do this very often. Oh, here we
No worries.
Oh, I can't get it to. Oh, it's already up here. I just came off of a week-long vacation driving to the Midwest and back, so
Hmm.
I am having fun. Okay, so thank you guys for having us in today. We do our annual report out to each of the 5 counties every year. We pivoted to the fall because of the way that reporting structures work. We were able to get the reports out much faster than in the past. Usually we do them in January, that first quarter of the calendar year. So we had a fairly good year. It was well resourced compared to what we've got going on this year. But with the report, it's essentially the same format as last year's report. We did choose to do it online. It saved quite a bit of money, and now we have the infrastructure in place, so it's pretty easy to do the same report every quarter. Same with the impact report. That report has more detail on each of the counties that we work with, the 5 counties. So you scroll through the first section there. We have a little bit around the just an introduction from our current board chair, which is Michael Kay, the Thurston County EDC director. Mr. Shudik is coming in January 1st, so he's served the past year as incoming chair to kind of learn the ropes behind the scenes, what goes on being the chair. So we're excited to have him join the team. We have a really strong group of representatives for Mason County on board, probably the strongest county. And of course, we have the consortium led right now by Commissioner Trask, so, which we very much appreciate. She did the chair position again this year. So, gosh, what, is this your 3rd year? 3rd year? Got one more? When's your term up? Soon?
Next December.
Next December. Okay, so you could do next year too. I know you're excited. All right, so if you scroll on down, we do have some highlights. We point out the new, we have a few new board members, and then also we had a few changes with the last election around the consortium of elected officials. If you keep scrolling down, you see some of the events that we sponsor and support. We just did the Tri-Trade again this year out at Sassa Business Park. We had quite a few high schools from Shelton County participate, so it was a pretty exciting event. I think it was, do you know, Dan, was it 1,400 people that participated?
I think it was right around 13, 14, yeah.
Yep. And then we've also done the Future of Work already, which was a great event held at St. Martin's University. It's really focused on new occupations, kind of where things are going around higher ed. Scrolling down a bit more, we have, you can see some of the other stuff that we do. We spent quite a bit of time this past year, both at the state capitol and the federal capitol, advocating for continued investment in the workforce development system. And when we talk about workforce development, it does include TANF, SNAP, higher education, Perkins funding, HUD funding, things like that related to workforce development. So it's a fairly big system, very complicated, especially when it comes to funding. We are still fully operational because of the way the continuing resolution that was passed at the beginning of the calendar year, we're funded through the program year. So we're operating, we're able to draw our resources down and continue to provide services. So good news there. And some of the more aggressive changes around the federal legislation, like eliminating youth programming and reducing adult, they've kind of stepped back from that quite a bit. So we think we'll have a fairly typical funding going forward for the next year or so as they look to reauthorize WIOA to make another run at that. That happens usually about every, I'd say 8 to 12 years. It just depends on the political environment and the ability to reach compromise. So it's a little challenging right now.
What does WIOA stand for again?
Oh, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. So in the news, you'll hear DOL, Higher Ed, and Health and Human Services. Those are the three agencies in the WIOA Act itself. We did recognize Vaughn Company down in Grace Harbor County for the Nancy Payne Workplace Excellence Award, and we currently have nominations open for this year as well. Scrolling down, you get to the Opportunity Begins Here section. So this is really our top line numbers that we report out. We do co-enroll across multiple programs. So we have WIOA, which is our base funding, EXA, which I know you guys are probably getting tired of hearing emails from us around EXA. It is a very, very important resource, and this is a perfect illustration of that resource. So that section is, scroll back up just a hair. There you go. So last year we served with the resources managed by the Pack Mountain Board, 776 individuals. Those services were all, or those folks were nearly all enrolled in training services. So that's quite a change. We have a much lower number than you would typically see under the serve column, largely because we are focused on occupational skills training. So we look to employers to tell us what they need, and then we try to train them and get folks placed in those positions. So far, for the year, we ended up with 329 placements, 332 of which were trained, and then a really strong year for on-the-job training. That's an important one because it gives people the opportunity after they're hired to continue to get training and investment in their skill sets. Then some of the other things that we measure, credential attainment, that number is quite a bit lower than we wanted it to be, but measurable skill gains is really strong. So a skill gain would be like the completion of an OJT or a grade level if you're seeking your high school degree. It could be other types of training as well, and then if it ends in a credential, we count that credential as an attainment. Washington's very limited on what credentials as a state they recognize because they really only want to recognize higher ed. We advocate for other things like just a welding certification, those stackable credentials, because they really do impact wages and get people where they need to be without a college degree. Scrolling down, we worked with about 600 businesses this year. That was largely fueled by the Community Reinvestment Project, which was not funded as well as we had anticipated, but coming into the budget cycle, it was at zero. So the fact that we got a pretty good chunk of resources remaining, that allows us to continue that work. In this region, we really have two really standout employers that we work with. Sierra Pacific, of course, but TrueFab has been a relatively new partner. Lots of opportunity there. We've had a few challenges as they're new to the system and they have some things going on organizationally right now, but they're a really good partner, and we're starting to see that expand as we really get into our sector strategy work, which I'll speak to here. Now we have 6 priority sectors in the region, so healthcare, forest and wood products, especially manufacturing, IT and telecom, food production, and hospitality and tourism. So this has been really exciting. If you scroll down to, I think it's a little further down. The printed version looks very different. Yeah, so you'll see there, that's a good one to stop on there. It's IT and telecom. It actually is the highest. We don't do a lot of training development in IT and telecom. That tends, as a sector, that tends to fall within the other sectors. So an IT person at, say, a hospital or manufacturers, where we see those types of jobs. Food production, hospitality, and tourism, those two are the lowest levels, but no surprise. Actually, if you look at the rates, healthcare is third from the bottom. We do a lot of entry-level placements there. But the average wages, these are based on people we've placed in those sectors and occupations. The strongest one behind IT telecom is Forest and Wood Products. Those actually are really solid. We had 15 placements last year. And those are jobs like we had some log truck drivers, machinists. We had folks working in different types of positions in the sector, so it's pretty exciting to see that. And we've been tracking the average wage. The average wage is is well ahead of our best guess on how inflation is impacting wages. Let's scroll down a little bit more. We have a couple of success stories to read there, but one of the big initiatives that we've been working through this past year is the High Road Employer and Quality Jobs Initiative. So essentially, we take our role as helping people make career decisions pretty serious, and we want to give them really good tools. And this is a way for us to recognize employers that meet those criteria around quality jobs. It's things like, they're listed here too, I should have them memorized at this point. Wages, of course, benefits, but also access to healthcare, childcare, investment in their skill sets, in helping job seekers know that they can be invested in and continue to get their jobs. So those are pretty important standards for us, and we've been working to roll that out. So we're fairly close to doing it. The board has taken action and approved the standards, and now we're starting working to recognize those folks through our business and sector engagement committee work. So look for more of that, I would say, in January up into our winter retreat. We had some great grants this year with the Community Reinvestment Project. We put about $67,000 in small business grants. So these went to, in many cases, organizations that had 1 or 2 people. They were small grants, but they've had really good impacts. I encourage you to read some of those stories. They're really good stories. And you can see that these small investments in those small businesses had a really big return. And then if you scroll down a little bit further down to the information around the program. So the top line numbers, which we call our Opportunity Begins Here numbers that we just went through, these are the programs. So when you look at them, you're going to see, it looks like we serve 2,000 people going across the top line. We have people enrolled into multiple programs, but the way we organize this around poverty reduction, WEO, which is our base funding, specialty programs, that's going to be things like Quest, the ag project we did over in Thurston County, and then reentry work as well. And based on the program, there's some different criteria, but you can just see across the top line that $4 million base was a bit lower than the state's investment last year. So it's flipped again. We're about 25% of what we had last year from the state, so it's seriously reducing it. But one of the things that really stood out for Pack Mountain in our region is we had 179 people reach self-sufficiency, which means that we looked at their household income, what it takes for them to be self-sufficient, and we were able to get 180 basically people there. We had the most in the state. So we outperformed Seattle, Spokane, Clark County, all the bigger counties, we outperformed them significantly. 37, or was it 39%, Dan?
38.
38%. So 38% of the self-sufficiency outcomes for X across the state come from our region. And the program manager who used to work for us, Corbett Mosley, called me and said, how did that happen? I said, I think you know the answer to that. He's like, it's occupational skills training. We're like, absolutely. And we're starting to see other regions really look to us on how we've been doing that. We won't have quite as high a number, but I suspect we'll still carry more than our weight across the state with our program model.
Well, I think it's neat to also point out that it's not just training them in a skill,
Right.
but it's also helping them learn how to budget and how to handle that budget.
Yes,
I think
yeah.
that's a skill that a lot of people aren't
Right.
trained
Right.
on how to do, or they have no.
I barely knew how to balance my checkbook coming out of high school, so we don't do a very good job. But I think Washington passed legislation to require it as part of graduation, but it doesn't go into effect till 2030.
Right.
So they have to resource it, find the instructors, build the curriculum, all those things. But yeah, so with CRP and also with Pathways, we've had financial coaching as part of our model for 4 years, I think it is.
4 years,
It makes a big difference.
It does.
Right? Because they actually have a goal other than just getting back to work. And they can start to understand, like, these decisions I'm making in my career and the commitments and sacrifice to go through the training are important. It impacts their earnings capabilities.
Right.
Just a couple more things here. We have the WorkX program that we run up the base. That's continuing to perform very well. We do look at the occupational placements in by sector, not all of those that are listed are in our region, but a vast majority of them are. So even though the base is outside of our territory, it's a big player with our employers. And then we do have a bit of messaging towards this current program year. Really what we're looking at is we're not changing our model. We're just not going to be able to serve as many people. We are really looking at our expenses. We've finally, with Commissioner Trastel, we finally got the Thurston County facility closing November 14th. That doesn't sound like a win, but it is a big financial win for everyone involved.
It is a win.
Yes, and we have a new, much more affordable facility out in Lacey to cover the Thurston County area. Grace Harbor, we did close it, so they're working on opening up a much smaller version on campus like we did down in Lewis County. And Mason County's pretty, I don't see any changes with that anytime soon. It consistently has good traffic, good engagement. It is an affordable facility, so it'll most likely stay the same. But the trend is self-service, virtual services, and we've been investing in resources to help people find jobs and career pathways specifically, so that they don't have to come in. It is not practical for people to come into 4 locations in our region. It never has been. It's been difficult. But now the state is actually embracing the self-service model where they meet people at the libraries, which is a fantastic partner of ours, and other locations throughout the state. So we're all trying to leverage existing resources without spending new resources. And then the last little bit, I'm trying to keep us on time here. Got about 4 minutes. We broke out our expenses by category, by program. We've had clean audits for several years now. We had a clean audit this past year, and we'll be going into our audit soon. We are down about 35% in revenue, 35 to 42, depending on how you look at revenue. We've adjusted our expenses accordingly. We've worked really hard to reduce expenses, and we've eliminated 3 positions in the organization, potentially a 4th now, as our contribution to trying to keep the resources in check. We brought business services in, which allows us to utilize some of our existing staff, and also get away from the Thurston County Chamber branding around our business services, which is exciting. But our sector strategies and that team have been really, really impactful in helping us connect people to those great paying jobs. So you can look at the detail in the program. I'm happy to answer any specific questions on that. But we still maintain a fairly healthy spread around our administrative costs to run the programs and also our subcontractors' administrative costs. And we push quite a bit of resource directly into job seeker investments. So questions on that as I bring up the impact report?
Simple one. This is a public meeting, so how do people who are looking for your help get a hold of you?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is to go to the nearest WorkSource Center or go to worksourcepackmountain.org. You can do WorkSource WA as well, which is the state's job listing program website. It's fairly complicated to navigate, which is why we created our website, our version of it. It helps you understand how to use that job placement site. We also offer a number of events around the sector. So each of our 6 sectors, we have convenings at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. And all of that can be found on either Pack Mountain's website, social media. You can find it under Opportunity Begins Here, which is our campaign to really promote all of the partners in the system. There you can find where all of our events are. But the best way is just to come into a WorkSource Center or call. If you're receiving UI, you'll be directed to WorkSource virtually. They start with virtual appointments, so to save on transportation costs for everyone. But after that, we focus on the occupational and career pathway planning side of the house, and then the training and placements from there. So as you work through system partners, so like DSHS can connect us, DVR, services for the blind can, any of the employment security programs like Wagner Pizer, which is Basic Career Services, RESCA, I don't know what the acronym stands for. That's if you're laid off, they direct you over to WorkSource to have resources to do that. And then the Work First programs at the college, and also at ESD is the best way to connect to services. And we work really hard to work with our partners so that we know the clients that we're working with are receiving services, they have plans, they're kind of working through their basic needs, right? And that's something we want to make sure basic needs are addressed before we invest our training dollars into an individual. At least have a plan. They may not have them mitigated, but have a plan to do that. So the impact report, so again, you'll see some of this will be repetitive, but that page 2, I think scroll, yeah, up to that's a good one to start with. So we've laid out kind of where the state's unemployment is and in the individual counties. Most of everyone kind of followed the same patterns at the state and the federal level, so you see the ups and downs match. Mason County does have a tendency to be higher than the state average, though not the highest in the region. Grace Harbor gives you all a run for money there. In Mason County, surprisingly, construction, extraction jobs, sales jobs, in educational instructions in library, those occupations all declined, and you can see the average wage there. No surprise on healthcare, 2 of the top occupations are healthcare, transportation, and material moving. Those are the occupations that saw the biggest gains. We're not sure why, but sales across the board in all the regions is down. Construction and extraction is down as well. So some interesting things to kind of dig into this year and listen to what employers have to say about that. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see the region report. So those are the state member wages and everything that we reported earlier. And then scrolling down to Mason County, highlight a couple of the impacts that we had specifically with clients and employers. But some interesting numbers here, looking at the contribution into the total budget through the interlocal. Mason County is kind of in the lower half in terms of population and the federal resources we get. But strong engagement, it really comes down to a strong team at the Mason County Workforce Center and also our sector strategies. And key partners are in Mason County around forest and wood products and manufacturing especially. We had a really great year for OJTs, and in Mason County, we have 12 people that received credentials, 28 with skills gained, 2 incumbent workers, which is when we train someone who's already employed to upskill them. Typically, they get a raise, a title change, and it usually creates an opportunity for us to backfill it. But looking at the top 3 sectors, healthcare, manufacturing, and logistics, and Sierra Pacific would actually fall in that category in this reporting, and then hospitality and tourism. On par, maybe just a little bit below the average, and that's largely because so many people, the population density in Thurston County. So that's it for me. You can look at the other counties in there, also compared to the region. But it's been a great year here in Mason County, and we expect that to continue. We will be serving less people across the board, but our strategy, our investment, and our approaches are remaining the same. Do you have anything you want to add or share with your experiences?
No, I went through to a couple of graduations where they finished their trainings, and so we had the program for them and appreciation and just hearing their stories.
Yes.
I would say that everyone that I heard brought tears to my eyes just to hear their success and how excited they were to look at the future and know that their future was brighter than it was before.
Yeah, we have quite a few trainings set up right now, and we're doing quite a bit more with the tribes. The tribes in the region are much more engaged with us. So we do tend to hear, what we need to hear. Mason County wasn't successful in its bid for recompete resources, which is disappointing. Grace Harbor and the Peninsula Peninsula got some big funding, Grace Harbor got some planning funding. But given the challenges that we have with, opioid and different challenges across the whole region here in Mason County, all those things said, those resources are extremely important, and the way we serve folks, there's less expensive ways to do it, but the outcomes are just not as strong. So if we're able to move someone off the couch into a job, especially a job that's self-sufficient, that's a huge thing. It reduces, SNAP claims, TANF if they're eligible, but also other resources, housing resources, child care resources. The return on investment with EXA alone is, I think, $2.34 for every tax dollar invested. So it actually produces positive tax revenue. Doesn't always come back into the program, which is okay. But we'll need that EXA program solid for probably a good decade to really make some serious impacts within the rural communities. And that is I think a good thing to end on is that I grew up in a rural community very similar to this, and we've been very focused on let's try it in Thurston and go out and then try to set it up in the rural counties. And what I've told my team is we've done that. Let's build it in a rural community first. So we're looking at some interesting programming strategies this spring, which we'll make sure y'all hear about this. But we want to find better ways to serve people in rural communities that have bigger impacts. It's not an easy thing to do because its resources are strained across the board in rural communities. So when I advocate on the Hill, especially here in the state, I talk about rural communities first. I don't talk about our program needs, the people. It's this, we're starved, economic development starved, infrastructure starved, education starved in rural communities, so we want to make sure that we're doing our parts to get those resources out to those folks in the communities. So, anything else? Questions? Great. All right, so we'll release these reports every quarter. We're getting ready to do the quarterly report. It'll be the same format, so you'll be able to keep a better pace with what's going on a day-to-day basis with us.
I encourage people to go to the website,
Yep.
the resources there.
Yep. And our meetings are public meetings also, so feel free to come and attend and see how
They're always fun.
That's generous. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, if there's any other questions
It's
too,
gonna be fun this year.
yeah.
I don't know about next year.
Yeah,
The real fun starts in January. Yeah.
right. So info@pacmountain.org. Any question, we'll make sure we can get an answer to it.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you guys so much for coming in and for really caring. I think that's one thing that Pac Mountain has going for it.
Yeah.
For it, the amount of staff that we have, every person in there cares. And so, please express my appreciation to them as well.
I will, absolutely.
All right. You're up, Clerk.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, how are you?
Ooh.
Do you have power?
Thank you, Commissioner.
Good, there's a lot of people that didn't have power.
Well, no, I'm kind of in downtown, so I get lucky.
Oh, that's good, that's good.
Charles, did you want me on the table?
Yes, I do. Just only because you know. What I just showed you is the file review and the digitizing process that we just broke it down for you, so that you tried to extrapolate information out of what I've given you on the quotes. This may make your life a little easier, and my chief is going to go ahead, and Kathy Reed is going to go ahead and initiate the presentation too.
Okay, so we are here about our record digitizing project that we would like to undertake. We have a large store of case files that are only maintained in a physical paper format. In a physical only format, that obviously hinders accessibility. It involves, going up to our third floor storage area, moving boxes around to access paper files. Not only is it cumbersome from an operations perspective, but it also harms the accessibility of records to members of the public, anybody who signs up through Odyssey Portal, which can involve attorneys, the prosecutor's office, public defenders. So our goal is to be able to digitize the documents that are only currently maintained in a physical format for the purposes of accessibility, for cleaning out storage areas, and to make sure that we're properly prepared from a disaster recovery perspective. Currently, paper files are a single copy. Once digitized, we would maintain a digital copy of the records, plus those also get backed up to the administrative office of the court servers, which gives us 2 functional copies should something occur. So that is generally our summary of what we are looking for. We had initially contacted some third-party vendors to assist with the scanning portion. Any records preparation, which includes reviewing documents for accuracy, ensuring they're in proper order, getting them stickered prior to scanning, and then post-scanning sorting would still fall on our office. So a third party would solely produce PDFs is really what it comes down to. And quotes for just that portion of the process ranged from about $147,000 to $267,000, where our proposal would involve us handling the entire process with an estimated need for phase one, which would focus on anything that is purely in physical format, with an increase of an overtime budget of approximately $150,000, where we would take care of every step of the process internally.
So, you say phase one, now what's the timeline, are you talking to digitize all these?
Our hope is that the ones maintained solely in a paper format could be completed within approximately a year. The exact timeline is a little harder to estimate because any work we've been able to do during standard office hours has been very much in fits and spurts. So at this point, we have very rough estimates because we don't have the ability to solely focus on getting these documents done. We're taking phone calls, assisting customers, it's been kind of in pieces. But our hope is to be able to get anything solely in paper format digitized within 12 months.
Understand, and it's on your documentation, but we have 2.1 million documents up there, approximately. And it's probably a little, between that and room 204, where we have our additional storage, it's become very cumbersome. A judge will ask for a document and they have no access to it on Odyssey, because I think prior to 2017, everything is just hard paper. We didn't get Odyssey until 2017, as everybody knows. So that's what we're up against now, yes. Sorry, Kev.
It was a good presentation. Have you looked at other things, other resources? 'Cause I know that through the state
State Archives?
archives, thank you.
We
They have
went to
programs
them,
also?
we went to Tanessa, and she's done a phenomenal job for us, really, I gotta tell you. But, we were denied, to go around. And we can't keep, the problem that we're up against is we can't keep, waiting for grants to come through. When grants if grants are approved, then we can filter that back into, to offset the money that we're asking you for at this time. But Tanessa has been, she's, and I've asked her to look into the grants and to look into more. And that's what she's attempting to do, but there was 147, something like that, applications. There was only 22, slots, and they had to cut somebody.
Right. So did you speak to IT, because it's gonna take extra storage, I'm sure, with that many documents? Do we know, is there something else out there that might be available? Because just looking at the pictures, that's a ton of documents. And so that would take up a lot more storage, and we'd have to pay for
And we
that
have
somehow.
a lot of those, Commissioner, we have a lot of those already organized in boxes. That's why they look like they do. If we kept everything on pause, they would be stacked, you all been
We
up
did
there.
that tour, yeah.
You guys
Took us
been
up
up
there.
there.
I mean, as cool as it is, looking up there, it's very packed, so I do know that there's an issue.
And we can definitely speak with IT. From my understanding, our document server is dedicated. I can confirm that, because I don't know necessarily what our maximum hold would be.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear from IT to see how much more storage we're gonna need, or, cloud space or wherever also.
And it looks like you're planning on doing it with all overtime. Why not hire somebody part-time or two people part-time for less money?
The biggest issue comes into familiarity with the documents, what they are, how they need to be handled, what is or is not confidential. If we brought in somebody from the outside, training time just to get them prepared, and then the resources, the internal resources to train them. It's not something that they can learn in just a few days. It could take, especially on a part-time basis, it could take a couple of months before we could actually rely on them to move through the process on their own.
Well, my concern is burning out your employees. It seems like a lot of overtime for,
Burning up their boss.
Well, anybody who's predominantly, the initial project team is for people who do understand what would be undertaken. I would actually be one of them. We do understand the load that would be involved. But also the idea that we could supplement with other internal employees as the need arose. So essentially let four core people develop a process, get the ball rolling, and then integrate additional people kind of rotated in and out as it makes sense to do so.
Understand that the review is still going to have to be through us. If we hire an outside company, for example, for $300,000, now it's gonna cost the $150,000 that we're asking for, plus 300, now you're up to 450.
I wasn't talking about hiring an outside firm, I was talking about hiring direct employees. That
Right.
becomes their job to do this.
But Commissioner, how would you can't have people that are not familiar with the court processes to go through confidential documents. It just, I don't see it work. We've talked about that.
Well, one or the other, and just potentially a personal concern, and just some general understanding of the employment landscape. Somebody brought in from a project basis on part-time, we can't guarantee that we would retain them. If they ended up with a full-time opportunity somewhere else, then what are the odds that we're cycling through people? Would just be a concern that would come to mind. But we ultimately have a staff comprised of 11, not including you?
Well, not including you and I. it's
Yeah,
11.
so it'd be 11, which allows us to have 4 core people, plus a pretty solid rotation of other people as the need arises, allowing people to take breaks should the need occur. But yeah, the biggest concern on a part-time employee would just be the investment required to get them prepared, and then questions about whether or not we would be able to keep them long-term, or for the duration of the project, in a sense of long-term.
Okay, then you also have, so moving on from that one, we have 3 other requests. One's office supplies for $3,000, IT trackable for $16,000, and machine maintenance for $3,000. Do you wanna,
What are we looking at? I'm sorry.
PLRs,
Okay.
not just the 148.
I'm looking at 17,000.
Do you want me to
on
share
IT
my
track.
screen?
Please.
So yeah, there's a difference there, but.
That's okay.
So these items in green are what the commission is referring to, the 3,000 in office supplies, 1,600 in IT trackable, and then 3,000 in machine maintenance.
So, your requests, are those above your normal amount that you're asking for? Or are you thinking that fits
Yeah.
within your normal
I've
amount
got
of
16
expenditure?
on this sheet,
Yeah.
but on the spreadsheet.
Jennifer?
Yeah, let me go to the detail.
So if you're asking for machine maintenance, you're asking for 3,000, do we already pay something for machine maintenance? Is this a contract that's being?
Machine
Right.
maintenance, so there's 3,000 in the 2025 budget
Yeah.
already.
And
So if you're asking for 3,000 more, and if we're looking to stay within
No,
maintenance.
I don't believe, I believe we were keeping it the same.
So machine maintenance for 2025 is at 3,000, and we've expended through June $935, and so the request for the 2026 budget was $6,000, so that's why I put the 3,000 into the PLR.
So it was 3,000 above what was already in the budget last time.
No, it should be, it should remain at
Remain the same.
3,000.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
The other one.
I'm sorry,
Oh, that's okay.
I wasn't prepared.
No, that's why we do this here.
Thank
Yeah.
So now you have another one that is office supplies of 3,000. Is that the same issue? Where is that 3,000 above, or was it, you're just hoping to have 3,000 like you did last year?
Is it 3,000 the same? I believe it is.
She's checking it.
Just wanted to make a note of the other one, before I forget. Yeah, the office supplies, are at 15, I mean, we have expended 13,000 through, through the end of June, and then 18,000 is the request. So, I mean, it doesn't look unreasonable. I try to be careful though with office supplies and just
Sometimes you
increasing
order a
it,
bunch, yeah.
because, you know, it might just be a one-time thing, or, you know, maybe there's things we can do to decrease office supplies. I don't know, I feel like it needed to come before the
It's all right,
board.
so last year they received what?
15,000?
15,000, they're currently at 13.
Yeah,
That's
just
in
through
June, so they're probably gonna be 15, so, their request was 18.
Mhm. Yeah, and last year they expended, a little over 15,248 is the total.
Personally, I'd be okay at, we'll say 1,650 total to cover maintenance and the increase in costs. But I don't know if I can go for any more than that. During the middle of the year, if there's an issue, we'll see it and we'll know, and we'll have a discussion. It also might be able to be used up within wages of unexpended budget authority of somebody that's, you know, not there for a week.
I prefer to keep it at the same as last year. Is it 25? Just for now. I mean, well, honestly, what I'd like to do is just hold off on approving anything for anybody going forward until we come to the final part of the budget. And where we make all the decisions. I'm concerned about adding too much more to our budget.
And you're right to be concerned. The one thing is
I know.
we won't know what we have to do for cuts and stuff if we don't build into our budget the maintenance or the increases that are necessary, that we consider maintenance.
The thing that we were hoping for, commissioners, is that, especially on the digitizing, that we would be able to start on that, instead of waiting until after the first of the year, to be able to start on getting those things done.
Well, and
As soon as-
we don't adopt the budget until December 1st,
I know.
or we have the hearing. So really, anything that, moving forward, I mean, speaking for me, but moving forward on any requests for funding now, is a hard no for me. But, because we don't adopt the 2026 budget until December.
It would have to be a supplemental for this year's budget, and
It's too close.
Yeah, the cash just isn't there. Did you find or look into other funding mechanisms, what pockets they may be able to come out of if we would decide to do something in this?
Where that could come out of, yeah, I'll look at that, but I would guess that there's gonna be salary savings, I mean, for next year.
That
just,
much?
200,
200?
150, probably not that
I was
much.
just saying, that's when
Sorry,
I
I
see
thought we
their
were talking about
proposals,
office
that's the baseline, because there's gonna be other costs and stuff that are associated with it. I'm not sure
Yeah.
that now's the time to do it anyway. But I know when we talked the other day, it also asked you to look at possibilities of other fees that might be able to put on, for example, in recording. I know we have fees that we've done. Was some of those fees set aside for scanning and retaining of documents? I know that was part of it at one point.
I know, I thought that there was something through actually Steve's office, where they helped with records retention and scanning and things like that. So Jill was funded through that account, I think.
Yes,
Yes,
that
that's what I
was
was-
Fund 104, and I did send that information on 104 that I have in an email to, I either sent it to Travis and he forwarded it on, or I sent it direct, I don't remember. But it was part of the 109 information, and then there was also the 104 information. So I don't know if the 109 kind of consumed everybody, probably. So I can resend that in a separate email if you'd like.
So some years back, they had talked about a certain fee on when people come in to record documents. And there was a certain amount that they had talked about for record retention. Is that what we're calling 104?
I believe that is that exact fund, yes. The auditor's O&M fund is what we call it, yeah.
So if I'm thinking something different than.
There's something to the
Yeah.
clerk's office.
Than the auditor's O&M fund, it was a
It
specific
was
amount.
very specific
Yeah,
to, I thought,
and it could have sunset, we don't know.
yeah, sure.
Can you look at that again?
Yeah,
Because
I will.
if there was something for record, we need to keep that in our minds for
Okay.
things like this.
Okay.
And is there a possibility of a couple of hours per recording for the future, for something like this? Documenting things and microfiching them, just the way it is,
Oh, we have to do it that way.
yeah. So we have to look at those options.
Okay.
Revenue.
All right.
Does anybody have any other questions?
All right, man.
Well,
Our
can we figure out?
PLRs aren't out of, I don't think that they're really out of line, but, you know, there are some increases of the IT trackable, you know, I mean, the equipment, we're having to buy, you know, some of our monitors are, you know, antiquated.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, that's one we didn't actually cover.
Oh, last year they had 10,000 in the account.
And what do they have this year? You already have 10,000 this year, and they're looking for that much more?
Under the IT trackable.
Yeah.
So for this year, we've got, and this changes every year, we have 15,400, and that comes directly off of the IT replacement schedule.
Mhm.
And then if there's anything additional, the department needs to ask specifically for that. So it needs to have a specific purpose, I would think.
And this one did not, it was just a request?
Not that I saw, no.
So currently, right now, you have 15,000 going into your account to handle IT as it is, and the things are already on cycle to be replaced.
Right.
10,000.
Oh, I thought she said 15.
15.4.
15,400.
So, right now, I would think, knowing the expansion, we'll see what it looks like if there's an issue. I think that was all of them, right?
Yeah, that was
Now,
all.
one thing I do want to say, that machine maintenance, I don't have much of a choice on that. We don't pay for the toner or anything. They do come out here, and it's about $400 a month. for
Yeah, and I think right now you've got enough in there to at least get you through the rest of the year on this one. So I'm wondering if we do need to add more next year. Maybe if we do, we can,
I thought we already thought,
machine maintenance, 3,000.
yeah.
He's got 3,000 in there now.
Yeah, we're withdrawing that request is
Yeah.
what I
Yeah, that's
I
what I-
had
Okay.
as the
It's
note.
3,000
Mhm.
instead of 6.
It was a mistake,
Yeah.
so that's why I think, okay. So they're not
That's what I-
taking away anything, it's just gonna stay the same and at the amount that it was budgeted at. And staff already probably looked at to make sure the contracts are still within that parameter and, yeah.
So you know, on the digitizing, we're not a hard no at this point. We're just, you know, let's see if there's any other option up there. Is that what I'm hearing, or?
Well, I'm interested in seeing the other options, I don't know personally how I can find 150,000.
For overtime.
Yeah, I just don't have it, this year's gonna be a year that things have to be looked at.
We're kind of in a situation because we have $2,000 a year overtime. I'm having to pay my chief now, time and a half.
Yeah, but give us a little bit of time to do some more
I'm
research.
sorry, yeah.
We understand the need, we honestly do. But we also have my concern is the revenue coming in and the expenses going out
Fair enough.
for the entire county, so.
I didn't take it personal.
Okay.
I didn't think it.
But that's more than a fully loaded body is how we're looking at it. If there's any adjustments or anything, that's how we have to see it.
It's about
Right
3
now.
bodies.
Yeah. No, fully loaded.
Fully loaded.
About 125 on the low end, 150 on the little higher, so that's.
For one hire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
very much.
Appreciate it. And again, thank you for taking care of that other thing.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, Steve, you're up.
I am back. Morning, Madam Chair. Morning, Commissioners. Hey, so last time I was here, I was speaking with you about my request for what I had planned for a policy level request in the fiscal year 2026 budget for the purchase of a new election system. Since then, I've had additional conversations with the vendor, and they are offering an early adopter discount with a November 7th approval deadline on it. So I'm requesting to change my policy level request for the 2026 budget to a proposed budget amendment for this year to purchase a system that's compliant with the Voluntary Voting System Guidelines version 2.0 from the Elections Assistance Commission. We've got money available through the HAVA grant, $136,500. That money is to be used, it's a special fund to be used for elections equipment only. And with what's left, we'll need about $28,000 from Fund 109, which is also a special fund for elections equipment. So that money can't be used for anything else. So that's what it's here for, and I've got I think a great proposal from Hart Intercivic.
I get that, but what's every year there's a regular or what's it called?
Subscription fee.
Subscription fee, thank you. And that's almost
It's a maintenance and
44,000.
subscription fee, and
That's almost 44,000.
sure, and we'll have money available through our Fund 109 because our elections charges to the jurisdictions come into that 109 account for that purpose, and we're projected to bring in about 80,000 next year in revenues into that account.
Do you have expenditures in that account also for next year and the year after?
We have maintenance fees for the scanner sorter machine, and we'll have maintenance fees in the software license for the new election system. We also have fees in there for the current election system. These, for the new system, will be a little bit higher, but it's not as if we don't.
How much does that offset? Do you know?
The current fees for the clear ballot system are about $26,000 a year.
26, and these are 40.
43.
18,000 difference.
Okay. And you're projecting that you have enough to cover the other memberships and dues and
Absolutely.
things to cover within the 80,000 for the,
Yep.
coming in for the year?
In addition to that, we have about $157,000 in Fund 109 in our investment account for the Treasurer's Office, which we can tap into if we need to.
Jen, how much have they spent out of 109 already?
Through this year. I only have the through June right now, but I can get that for you.
Well, even through
What do you have
June.
through June?
Yeah.
Through June's. I just have the internal allocation and then the machine maintenance, so that is a little less than 30,000, 28,000.
Yeah, so when I checked it last week, we're around 50,000.
This is, by doing this, jumping on this early, you're looking at an 85K savings?
I'm looking at a $15,000 savings, so the price is reduced from 180,000 some to 165,000.
Okay. Your request, I thought last time was 250, wasn't it?
That was an estimate early on in the budgeting process, but since the time we put that 250,000 estimate into the budget, we had an actual quote for 180,000. That's what I was discussing.
Then 165.
Now it's
Okay.
165.
Well, then, in addition, I got a copy of the master agreement too, and going through this, you have to use exactly what they want you to use, like the paper, their toner. And I don't see that was included in the price too, so that's in addition to the 44.
Depending on how much you need. I mean, if you have to use, and we're still having conversations with them about what other substitutes available, we're not printing every ballot, right? We only print ballots for voters who need a replacement ballot or newly registered before or after ballots are sent out from K&H Printing. So K&H Printing is still gonna be our primary source for mail-in ballots. So that's not gonna change.
There's not gonna be an issue with them using the right kind of paper or anything like that.
It says it is, according to the contract,
Just to be sure.
yeah.
So whether that's one case of paper a year or one case every 3 years, I don't know. We're gonna look into that a little bit more. But that too would be
I don't
covered
wanna
by
jump
Fund
into some,
109.
just me, one person. I don't wanna jump into something that we don't have a lot of firm answers on yet, and our budget is going to be very tight, and if it's a voluntary system, I don't know
It's
that
not a
we.
voluntary system. You're
I-
misinterpreting that.
I've read through the stuff, I've read it all, and either, maybe I'm misinterpreting it,
You're
or
wrong.
Steve?
You're wrong.
Stop. Stop. I'm done.
Executive
guys-
order is clear with the expectations.
I've read it, and I know what our
The
systems can do.
certification deadline or
I've,
criteria are
I'm not
vol-
gonna fight with you.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
So, here's what I think. This is a line item that is set out by the legislature stuff for the auditor to determine what is best for their system. It's a system. It's him asked for, this isn't our regular general fund stuff, this is line item special funds. And I can understand the question about the paper, but I know that I've never asked what paper that we use on anything before, so I can see.
it's a requirement.
I get that, but we're looking at a small amount. My main concern is on the equipment itself. And if the auditor or any other department was saying that they want it out of their funds, then it doesn't bother me. And I mean no disrespect, but we should not have interactions. back
No,
and
I'm
forth
sorry.
like that.
I'm just-
That's my personal, but I'm separating my personal opinion on that, and we'll talk about that.
You're right, and I apologize, Madam Chair, but I just
But with that,
am all about having accurate information presented.
So am I.
And I do see it as a normal course of business for us and any other time. I'm okay with expending the funds for that purpose out of those funds which are for them to determine and set it out. I don't have any other better option because that's not my department and I wouldn't have another piece of equipment to offer up. And if they say they need the equipment, that's what it's for, I support that.
It puts funding in jeopardy for us from the federal government through the state if we're not compliant with the executive order.
Anything you'd like to say?
No, I don't know enough about I hadn't read the thing you're talking about with the voluntary aspect of it, so, you know. It's generally my policy is let people run their departments, but that's.
All you need are two.
Well, if it came out of the general fund, I'd have the same issues,
And it doesn't.
so.
This is the only thing that money can be used for, elections and elections equipment. So that's my request.
It's up to you two.
As I said, it's his fund, his request, I'm supportive of that. And we'll have other discussions on some of this other stuff another time.
I'll come back and apologize later. In addition to apologizing now.
No.
So we're talking about approving a funding of an additional 180,000.
165.
For a piece of equipment, out of a fund that is made for the piece of equipment.
And 138 of it is coming out of
HAVA grant money
grant.
from the federal government,
And you already have permission for that?
approved by the Secretary of State last week.
And that's an additional, what, 138 to?
So I need to pull
65.
$28,608.74 from Fund 109 for elections, maintenance and equipment. Where I've got about 48 to 50,000 right now and 100 and some in investment reserves.
Yeah, I wish I knew more about all of this, but I
You
think.
can put it off for a week and you can study it more if you want.
So for, there's a deadline on the,
November 7th.
for the discount?
And that's what brought me back in the first place, was the November 7th deadline on the proposal at the reduced price. And the ability to pull it into this year and not have it in the next year's budget.
So this new equipment, what does it do for us besides get us into compliance with?
It scans the ballots, it tabulates the results, and creates the files for uploading into Vote One. It's the election system. Doesn't produce the ballots, we can use it, we also use it to create the ballot, but our ballots are produced by K&H Printing. But the design of the ballot takes place in this election system environment.
How are we not compliant?
Our system is certified to EAC 1.0 criteria, not 2.0.
And so how are we out of compliance?
There's a state law that requires our election systems to be certified at the federal level and the state level. And the executive order is driving everybody to 2.0. And I don't want to bore you with reading the language, but I've got here
I read it.
where they're basically asking to have the Elections Assistance Commission revisit all the prior certifications that were made prior to 2.0. They may or may not decertify those systems, that's to be determined.
It's up to you guys. You already said yes.
Jen, what is, how would we structure the readjustment of the budget? When is the next one? I can't think of the term all of a sudden. I'm thinking of a million other things that we're all talking about right
The
now.
public hearing for 2025.
No, the next, where we can amend the
Supplemental.
budget. Supplemental.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was stuck.
the supplemental, so I'm gonna talk to you guys about that, that was on the list, because
Okay.
December 16th is when the amendment actually goes into effect, but Cammie didn't have that on your schedule, so it was on it got put on the board, the board room got
Yeah.
reserved for that date, but not on the schedules when I briefed it back in, I think, January or
I
February.
think it's on my calendar.
So that's, the expectations is, you finalize the supplementals on the 16th of December or
That's what
January.
I'm hoping that we can add that meeting in, on the
Yeah.
16th. If not, we would have to add a meeting, on November 18th in order to set the public hearing for November 9th. But I would prefer if we could do the meeting on December 16th, as is on the calendar that was.
That doesn't bother me as long as we have plenty of time to make sure we can do it. Because even if something does happen here, they can start to work to the process of expending, but want to make sure there's still one left. It would make no sense if there's not one left, then it wouldn't
Yeah,
even
there is.
matter for.
Sorry, there is one left and there is time. I don't know if this went through the audit, I'm sorry, the IT steering committee, I don't remember it.
We already ran this past Todd, he's okay with the system. We've also run the contract past Tim White, so he's okay with the contract.
I am a little bit concerned about the ongoing cost and if there is enough funds to pay for that out of 109 along with other expenditures that might be coming out of there.
What are you seeing?
Well, I mean, we've got, you know, the machine maintenance of, we
Okay.
budget 65,000. The revenue that we budget in that fund is, for next year, we have 85,000 in election service charges. And then we have 8,000 in investment earnings, and of course, that won't be there if we're spending down, those funds.
So 85, we're looking at a difference, if you cut of about 18,000 is the difference on because the other one will be going away.
Yeah, and in 2024, the election service charges were only, they were budgeted at 45,000, so it fluctuates a lot.
So you're saying you're concerned. I don't see the number to be concerned yet.
Okay.
Please explain that to me.
I'm just saying, like, the revenues look like they kind of fluctuate, and, you know, we have an internal service charge in there, which isn't a lot, but,
So we have 157K in there?
yeah, we have about, at the end of,
85 coming in. 18,000 extra. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't, unless, if you see something, please, I'm trying to find it, so I'm not trying to be.
yeah, no, I just, wanna make sure that we have enough. I'm just saying it could be a concern. I
And
don't
next
know.
year is a big election year too.
So our elections costs are reimbursed, right?
Yeah.
And we pass costs along to the jurisdictions that participate in the election, and the Secretary of State reimburses other costs, so that's why that number fluctuates. So, that's my request. Thank you for hearing me out.
All right.
I don't know what we're doing, so.
Well, I was waiting for you guys to,
Yeah.
to say whether or not you wanted it on, if you're gonna move
So-
forward with it or not.
We have to either move it on.
Yeah, I say
Tomorrow.
move it on the agenda. It's, again, it's, that department's fun. I can just do myself math. I don't see we'd be able to eat 18,000 for, 9 years. So I don't see that worry. I can see how things can go back and forth, but that doesn't even make sense, but. So I don't have that as a worry, and it's coming out of special funds. It's coming out of the funds that are specific for the use of the auditor. So I
Yeah,
think.
I'll go with, let's move it forward. Let's get that taken care of.
Thank you very much.
He's asking to put this on tomorrow's action
Yes.
agenda.
Okay. So, funded.
And again, I apologize, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, Public Works. Morning.
First up, we have an item for the action agenda, and that is a request to approve a water credit. We were hoping to bundle those all
Our first one.
as one. No, this is our fourth, I believe. Yeah, and unfortunately, the application was received when staff was out on vacation. So anyway, we've got one more.
Since the new policy done, or?
No, I'm done.
We did 4 since the new
Yeah,
policy.
this is the
Last
fourth month.
Yep,
Yep.
yeah.
I
We
don't
have,
like it as much then.
well, people are fixing their leaks,
No, I get it.
absolutely.
I
It's,
get it.
Especially this one.
As long as it's and they're looking at what they can take anyway and how many.
correct, yeah, and they're advised of that, yes.
Mhm, for
Try
sure.
hard for $100 and then come back several thousand.
Oh, wow. Yeah, did you see this one?
No.
How much?
Yeah.
That was expensive.
Yeah.
Yep,
No, I do know they can be, what was that one, Belfast had one that was like 150,000.
Oh,
oh, not quite to that extreme,
No.
but
That
But it's
was,
so cool that people can see now.
yes.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on it though.
Every month they're advised of their overages and, yeah, so it's,
Yeah, literally. I mean, we go out, we read third Wednesday of the month, so it's usually like the 21st, 22nd, and our team, Stephanie and her team are really good. They analyze that data, and anybody over 2,500 cubic feet, they get on the horn, call them up and say, hey, you got that bad leak. You can see, I mean, they fixed this within, they got right on it within a couple days of being notified.
That's awesome.
And it was a lot. I mean, it was, there was really no sign of it anywhere. They had to actually, call somebody in. We did a quick leak, survey for them. Yeah, you definitely got a leak. They checked all their normal stuff. They go, we can't figure it out, so they called the plumber in.
Madam Chair, I have to recuse myself from this one.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I just read
Better
that
to
part.
be-
Sorry. No,
No, yeah, okay.
just in case.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, they had a huge amount of water they used in September, 33,000 or so, and 8,200 cubic feet showed up in October because it was fixed that last week of September, so that's why it showed up in there. They normally just use like 600 cubic feet a month on their average, so they were pretty much shocked when they got their bill.
It's like an open line.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, that was their main line between the house and the meter.
And the soils out there are such that usually you can see things, some ponding water, there's signs, super green grass, all of those fun things, but there was nothing
Yeah, this
to
is
give any
Beards Cove,
indication.
Sand Hill.
Wow.
Yeah,
Great drainage.
Yes, very good drainage.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they fixed it right away and it's above the limit I can approve.
Yeah. No, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm supportive.
Okay.
All right, great. Then discussion items, if we could jump to the Collier Road first, and then
Yeah.
Dave can skedaddle.
Hi,
Go on
Dave.
to other fun things. So on this, Commissioners, just real big picture. As you know, we've been looking at and assessing safety for pedestrians and vehicles that are coming and going during school pickup and drop off. And we worked with the community to obtain well, actually, we didn't obtain additional right of way, but to limb up some trees that are along a potential pathway, graded out an area for a walkway, removes a tree in a corner at the intersection of Old Arcadia and Collier. And then wanted to observe patterns to be able to see what's actually happening out there, because we kind of hear different descriptions of problems. And so as a result, we had folks out taking a look at both drop-off times and pickup times, and looking at pedestrian, bike use, vehicle use, numbers, speeds. Oh, and we've also done speed surveys. So long story short, we found that there are very few pedestrians using, and that may be just simply because the path was not fully completed. But it was great weather, lots of opportunity truly to be going to and from school. And also took a look at how many vehicles were actually queued up and waiting on Collier to make the route into the school and out. Were they blocking intersections? Were they, creating some type of unsafe condition? And I'll kick it over to Dave to share what was observed, both speed, pedestrian, and queuing wise.
So we've actually been working with school officials for some time, the previous superintendent as well. And then with Paul most recently. I think he's maybe been there 4 or 5 years, something like that. But when we first met Paul, he was in the street with a stop paddle and a vest, and he was stopping traffic in the through lane of traffic and allowing vehicles to come in one at a time. And so his concern was that people that are sitting there waiting to go down to the Platte down on the waterfront or to come up would get frustrated and they'd pull out of the queue and race past and create safety problems. So what his original request was, I believe, was to create a spot for people to park alongside the road. to get them out of the through lane traffic. And unfortunately, right in there, we don't have a lot of right-of-way to do that. So we were working, so we decided we'd take a look at really what's going on there, because a lot of times you hear things from a lot of different people, their opinion about, because school zones are always very delicate topics, and so we went out there and we spent 7 or 8 days recently. We did a speed study before school was in, then we did a speed study after school, started. And we did some turning movement counts there and did some pedestrian counts. And there's just there's not a lot of pedestrian activity there. We saw one person walking home from school one day, and then I think that same person maybe walked a second day out of the 7 or 8 days that we, but beyond that, we couldn't find anybody riding a bicycle or walking. And then the one person that we did see, we put in a crosswalk where we thought we built the trail, and then we crossed, and then it went onto a sidewalk onto the school site, and the person didn't use that. The person just crossed at the corner, and which isn't surprising that kids, they take the path of least resistance. So, but in any event, I guess what I'm trying to say is that having spent quite a bit of time out there and having dealt with this quite a few people there, is that we don't really recommend doing anything at this point, because it's just such a short window, and there's no crash history that shows that there's any crashes associated with the school or pedestrians or anything like that. And again, I know it's frustrating for people who have to sit there, but at this point, we're recommending not really doing anything.
Madam Chair, is that your district?
Yeah, no, I appreciate, you guys did spend hours monitoring and watching. And I've been to that school. Didn't attend myself because I'm a little old. But I've seen the traffic and stuff, and so I would say the biggest concern would be the main road. People driving fast. And that's the only concern I have. I appreciate you guys talking to Paul, and if you could reach out to the school board and let them know.
And you're comfortable with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
As am I.
our challenge was if we made an improvement, that it might not be solving what is a perceived problem. And so then we just keep trying to chase our tail about what it is that we're trying to solve.
Somebody sees one car go zooming by, it's happening all the time.
And I know you guys came up with other options as well, doing a drive-through, but that was rejected, and so I know you guys have come up with some good solutions. And
Pretty good at this stuff.
yeah. You guys are our SMEs, and I trust you to come up with the best solutions always.
Okay. So it's our
Thank you.
recommendation. Yeah?
Do you have an update on what's happening at 106 Union? I know they're doing the.
Yeah, there's
Some of them are going out.
moving forward with it. Yeah,
Good deal.
should be seeing it soon.
Appreciate all you guys are doing.
Yeah, I think this week, wasn't it, that they said that the
Yeah.
signage
DOT
goes
put
into
that-
effect?
yeah.
Yeah, and we really appreciate the support too, because I mean that makes our job easier when we get the support. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, couple other items. Commissioners, this morning we had a quarterly update meeting with Department of Ecology to talk about progress on improvements to the facility and a draft agreed order, so a schedule, activities about what will occur when. And so we had that meeting. And then talked about scheduling up a follow-up meeting to dig into details that would basically prepare the draft order itself. And Commissioner, thank you for attending. Do you have any things that you want to share about the meeting or comments, observations?
I shared a few with our administrator. I didn't appreciate on your side
I didn't appreciate something that had happened on there. I talked to the administrator about it, but not at our staff.
Good.
So, there's some things that came out of there that I'm, aside from that though, that there's a lot going on, you know.
Yes.
I'll be curious to see what the outcome is for you guys, cause you're gonna, on the pond, let's use that one for example. You're gonna be the best ones to decide when it can be done, especially when you have a director over there. I assume he's a director, cause I had to step in here for a minute, so
No.
the one Steve gentleman.
No, he's
No.
But he was surprised that, we were going blind, but that's gonna be a long process. And
Yes.
Your
yeah.
view of how that's gonna take is gonna take, no matter how much pressure there is
100%.
to make it go faster.
Yeah.
I think your timeline was pretty spot on. It's gonna take 3 to 4 years to do it. I'm not sure how you're gonna be able to speed it up, because that seems like what they wanted you to do, but
Yeah.
how?
And frankly, the other option that we did not discuss in that meeting is basically spending engineering time and analysis to say, do we even need to do any of these options? And at first, in talking with Richard, I was like, I don't wanna mess with this. Let's just figure out a solution, but frankly, when you're talking $750,000 and does it truly make sense? So that's one of the alternatives we want to come back and chat with commissioners about. Do we want to spend whatever it may be, engineering wise, to say, do we really need? Which route do we want to proceed? So,
They were adamant about,
I know they are.
yeah.
And that's
that
why
is a
originally I was like,
Well, and my 2 cents there is, it doesn't make sense for you to fight them on that. Like, 'cause you were, I'm not so sure,
I know.
listen, that I would, something to bear in mind for us to look at when the time comes. If it is an expenditure like that, we need to look at '09, we need to, I don't know that we need to look at, I think '09 might be a good one for this, but Reed, of course, to do it. But I have a feeling it's gonna happen one way or the other. We could fight, but they're in control of that.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was, after hearing you out, it made more sense. That problem will go away forever if that's the case. If that's what you decide to do,
Yeah.
then that is an absolute fix, and how can it be questioned at that point?
Yeah,
So,
I like that option too.
yeah.
Align that.
All right, well, if that's all 3 commissioners' direction, then we won't even talk about it. I just, when we're spending that amount of money,
It's gonna
that's
make sense.
that's what got me back to pause and think,
but we also have, even if we didn't do those funds, but we're in control of those. But even if we didn't, that is what those other, we're not supposed to be using our connection fees for other things. That is what it's for. And we have 5 million to do stuff like that. So the health of that plant is the top priority for those funds. I just don't think we're gonna have to, because we have the other funds in '09. I would like to see us look at that. It's a small amount in comparison to some of the others. We're currently at 3 million in '09. Yeah, I always do conservatively go the other way. So, and it might speed up that process with them too.
oh, it would, absolutely.
So just,
It would.
you're talking about the pond
Yes.
leak. You know, we've had wells out there for years monitoring the ground
Yes.
water.
Right.
We're not seeing
Right.
any effect of this so-called leak.
That was brought up, but was not accepted.
Well, I
Where's it
don't,
going?
Well, no,
yeah,
I just meant they didn't wanna hear
no,
It's-
they didn't.
that.
It's like over 100 feet from the bottom of that pond to the top of the aquifer. So it's quite a bit of saturation that has to occur.
And it's obvious the trucks are not going out anyway. That gentleman, Steve, made that very clear. So, we can look at 100 different things and take
We're
several
fighting
more
for
years.
And look at reality, or
Yeah.
the
No,
Yeah.
there's
Whatever,
no fact
reality,
about any
yeah.
of it. It's we're fighting a perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've toured a lot of sewer treatment plants and they all line their dams, so the reservoirs.
Oh, yeah, all of our reject water ponds where the water's needs to be treated more are inline ponds.
Mm-hmm.
Even the one at North Bay, it's the reclaimed water holding pond there is not a line pond, but it doesn't percolate anymore, or it's already saturated enough.
I'm not an engineer and I'm not a,
Yeah.
so I trust you guys, but do what you need to do, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say bring us the proposal, let's start to look at it, rather than, either that or we roll up our sleeves and start boxing, because it was pretty straightforward, I
Yeah.
thought.
Yep. Yeah.
When you say straightforward, they're demanding it. The college is demanding it get done.
That's something.
That is what they wanna see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, exactly
It's
what
actually,
said.
they were
That's
using
what
some
a
terms that
college
were
would
kind
like
of
to
scary
see.
about what it would look like, you know, how it can be a lot worse than just a finding of a fact. I didn't like a few of the terms that they used. I don't know how much of that was emotional or not, but it didn't matter. Those terms are being used. I'm not sure, I have a recollection of dealing with them before years ago, and I was prepared to protect my community, I was prepared to kick their ass, and they sit here and looked at me and said, "You right, you do have the authority to do that, but we have the authority to say that all these pumper trucks are just sprayed in the field. Is that what you want?" I shut my mouth pretty dang quick. So I learned my lesson there with them. They have certain authorities that, even if we're trying to protect our community, they just are, they're the ones. So when they say stuff like that, I listen. I listened.
Anything else on that, Richard?
No, I think that was the big takeaway from that one.
Yeah. Travis, you were there too? Any other
Oh, no,
words of?
I very much agree with Commissioner Netherland.
Yeah.
They seemed very willing to listen to options, so long as those options were the ones that they wanted to move forward
That's
with.
right.
Yeah, huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nothing changed.
But I still don't know how we're gonna do the timeline. Well, you know what, it could be shortened if we are the ones that do it, but that means we lose the opportunity to go out for grant, which I hate that. That makes no sense. You always have to take advantage of that.
Or you're doing it after the fact, well, no, then you're
No,
not,
'cause-
you
That's
can't
just it.
advance
I
spans,
was gonna say, you
so-
can do that?
I think
No,
that's where
no.
Steve was pretty good about.
Right, Steve was more flexible in
Maybe
that,
it's just-
or
he's got some
realizing the
reality.
Maybe it's
schedule.
just get that plan
associated with
in,
him that he
and,
understands it's.
cause they were demanding
Gonna
that,
take some
the
discussion
plan, and
into
with
it.
that, put in that year, and if they shorten it up,
Yeah,
then
they
we deal
can,
with
they
it.
can come back,
Yeah, then we deal with it.
Yeah.
If they don't shorten it up, then we go take a year and go for the grants.
yeah. All right, so that's that, and then meanwhile, and then the other, not to, to end on a positive note, they continue to be very complimentary of our facility personnel
Our staff.
and the improvements, recognizing the improvements. And so that, I know that's something that is a
Yeah.
priority to Richard,
Say,
to
Pat wasn't there the last
monitor
time.
schedule and
They
make
pulled-
sure that things are
They
happening.
pulled me off to the side while we were going through a whole big thing up there to let me know that our staff was very good and that they were working quick on it and they enjoyed working with them. That wasn't a public person, that was a thing off to the side to say, no matter what happens, understand, they're doing it. They're getting it done and we thank them. And so I pulled them to the side and shared what was shared.
It'll be good for you guys to come out and see it here shortly. It's,
Right.
even all the repairs inside are 99% complete.
Really?
We're at the punch list now, where they're just
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
finishing it up, so it looks brand
You
new.
were so close when we were there last time.
And they even made her
looks great.
Oh, yeah,
unblur
yeah.
her screens to show.
So, yeah, and the other thing that we've kind of been waiting also was we had talked to scheduling a tour with the Swanson tribe. And so we wanted to make sure that the remodel was complete before that happened, and so
Have you
we're
reached out
there,
to
so
the-
we
Still
can
like
reach
to
out
tour
and
theirs.
I was gonna say, have you reached out? Yeah.
get up and
Yeah, I would love to
plan
tour
a
theirs.
tour.
Set that up, I want to tour theirs too, actually. That's one of the things that Commissioner Trask made clear through the whole process is the stakeholder aspect. Could you reach out to Skoke and have them look at it too? Let's have those stakeholders, right, working with us.
Mhm.
Less resistance.
Okay, alrighty. And then the other discussion item that I have are just next steps for sewer capacity. So that kind of talks about the same issue with ecology. So we've talked about the need that we have to get going and start planning for the next round of expansion. Commissioners, you both asked for some expansion information, and last meeting or briefing, Commissioner,
And I
you
have something to
shared
share with
some.
Pat, because Pat asked a question, and they put the administrator back to me, and I went and asked the same question. You're correct, those were the other numbers originally for Alan, but what had happened, I talked to Kel this morning. So what you had read is what you read. But what had happened is when our contractors put it together, they reversed them. So Kel has gone and reversed them, so the numbers that I did present are the accurate numbers. The numbers you saw were the accurate numbers for the time, for what they saw, they just had been reversed. With that being said, I have a mistake, but it goes the other direction. The number that I used, it says in their new units, but I didn't calculate new units, I calculated it as total units, so it's an additional 82,000 gallons that are not in that calculation for the 20-year. Or, I'm not, because those are only new. That wasn't total, using Kel's numbers, so I can put it together on a piece of paper and correct that, get that back out to you guys with that addition of that number. So that changes the number from 307 or whatever it is up to basically 387 or so, according to Kel's numbers. That's total with a 20-year build out. Or no, was that the number for 1/3 build out? I don't know, I don't have it with me, but
Yeah.
I'll get the accurate stuff. I'll throw that on there and get that over to you. But I re-verified all that with Kel this morning. I tried to get over it on Friday after I heard. I was like, 'cause I don't like to make mistakes.
What, if anything else, do you need from us, commissioners?
I'd still like to see if we do it. I don't want to do it, but if we do it, I'd like to put some of the other language back to protect us. There was a lot of hard work that went in that included that stuff. That's why I ended up voting for it up there. There was some good stuff that the commissioners had put together to put in there to protect this county for the long term. And I can go through it and pick a few of them out and send them over to you if that's what you'd like.
I would like to get this done. We've been working on it, and that gives you guys guidance as well, so just extending it and let's just, if we can get it agreed upon and get it to
The
Bremerton.
MOU doesn't lock us in.
No.
It just gets this thing
Let's just get
moving.
it done.
It still does create some binding stuff that happens with it, especially with how it was worded. There was a concept in
You mean the last draft?
Yes, that's why I say we put some of our stuff back in that helps to protect us. One of the things that I pointed out the last time was just the simplicity of adding that the cost for the feasibility will come out of those funds, not on our back. Because that was left out. They said that we'll do a feasibility and stuff, but it didn't say that it'll come out of those funds. That would mean that we are agreeing to pay for a feasibility. So, and I want to run that by the attorney. I talked to him about it a little bit, and he wants to see these other numbers also.
I think all that Bremerton is asking for right now is, are we willing to serve or are we not willing to serve?
We don't have anything to serve with. And I'm gonna talk to the attorney about that as well. I already have, but I want to show him the numbers. We're only licensed for 125 period.
Right.
And if we go to expand it, it might be as easy as saying it's a letter, but it doesn't. I don't think it is. I think it's a lot more difficult, but aside from that, we don't have it in the long run either. So, you know, measure twice, cut once, but aside from that, we have no business offering something we don't have.
We've been working on this for 2 years?
If we'd have done a feasibility, they'd have probably found out earlier.
5,
Yeah.
at least.
And so,
But we haven't done a feasibility on any of these things we've done.
well, I would like us to move forward with whatever the heck we decide to do. So if we decide to work with Bremerton, then let's work with Bremerton. If we decide not to work with Bremerton, then all I wanna do is give our staff the ability to either plan for whatever the commission decides. Keeping you guys up in the air is not good for business or your mental health.
Well, one of the things I've shown over and over again, what we have, what we don't have, and I didn't have all those numbers beginning, but we keep showing more and more. Somebody please show me where we get money, where there's benefits, where there's one promise, anything that shows that we would benefit off of this. As it stands this morning, we're looking at 2 to 4 years before we'll even be able to have something for our liner done, let alone anything else. We're talking expansion out there, but none of that even pencils in, and we don't have it.
I don't think they are planning on building right away either, so I think they're looking for a plan, we're looking for a plan. Let's just decide on a path forward, and at this point, I don't care. I wanna do whatever just so that we can move off of this topic and start working on other things.
Well, my guess is the building's gonna happen faster than we thought up there, the industrial aspect of it. With what's happening at the Bremerton Naval Shipyard, I think that's gonna accelerate the industrial aspects of that growth, which is not going to impact our sewer system all that much, because initially it's gonna be a lot of layup yards and stuff that's gonna have almost no impact on the sewer system. But it will start bringing in more people, which is gonna put pressure on building homes in Mason County.
Whether we like it or not, we're a bedroom community.
Well, then we need to take care of Mason County, which means we need our capacity. And we don't have it to offer anyway, but aside from that, there was a comment about industrial today in your meeting, they made clear,
Which is quite puzzling.
but they said it.
I
Whether
know.
it's puzzling or not, it was said, please
And-
disclose it to the commission.
Yeah, they were contemplating not having no additional industrial connections. So that means in our UGA, anywhere,
Throughout
yes.
anywhere?
Yeah,
Yes.
they didn't clarify much, but they said it.
No, and which is strange because our current permit squarely puts the review and approval of any industrial connection in ecology's lap. So they already hold that hammer. It's,
Well, then what they said was no, at least for now. Well, the question I had when they said it was that
based on.
forever? Or was that until we do the liner? I didn't exactly
Right.
understand what was said
Right.
when it was said.
Right,
Can you find out?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's part of our
Yeah. What did you, how
dig
did you
deeper,
take it?
our dig deeper meeting.
Myself, it was like no industrial strength type, because they do. They are the ones that manage the pretreatment program. And they have to, any pretreatment person or industry would have to get their own discharge permit.
Yes.
So they'd have to regulate that industry to only discharge, their permit would be
Yeah.
they'd be able to discharge, but it'd have to be residential strength.
I thought it was more punitive, either, I didn't
Oh,
know.
it
what-
would be for the
No,
industry.
what they were saying, I don't know if it was directed at our 125. I don't know if it was directed at the liner,
Quality, I think.
but it
is
was,
what I
it was
suspect.
punitive, at least how I read it. So let's, if you don't mind, call them and ask them. Find out exactly what that exactly meant, because that was one heck of a statement when it was said. But it seemed like it was at the time where things were a little bit upset.
Yeah.
So was it said because of that? I don't know. I don't think any of us did, because everybody just kind of went quiet for a
It was
minute.
an odd conversation all the way around.
So, would you
Talking
mind
about
finding that out for
reorder.
us? Because that could hurt us
Those
too.
are given to correct
Absolutely.
something,
Yeah, that
not
could hurt
prevent
us.
something way down the
Absolutely.
line.
Yeah, because we want businesses on the top.
It's hard
No
to
matter
put
what,
something-
businesses on our side.
To
of the-
correct elections
Right.
in agreed orders,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want businesses on our side of the boundary too,
so I don't know where that falls.
Yeah, you can find out.
please.
Yeah, if they intend to shut down all industrial processes, they're gonna go to war with the federal government and the Navy in particular.
Well, it's only for us. It's not them, the Navy has no claim on any of this stuff, there's no guarantee that you're looking at our area to do anything. But they have no claim on us, the Navy, we have to take them on ourselves.
Well, if they're talking about the whole area, they are also including PSIC, so.
No, they're talking about our plant only, that's all they were saying, but like I said, I think it might be punitive out of, but we'll see.
I did wonder if it was part of a more broad approach that they are going to be taking, not just for ours, but
For that area
I
too?
just got the impression that, you know, that may have been a,
Wow, that would be a big, if they wanna close up the whole, well, you can't, you got the port up there.
I don't know how they,
The
I don't know how
port-
they
yeah,
pull it off.
The port already has
Interesting to
capacity,
see what
there's
they're
already 16
hearing
slots already
on the
sitting there, they'd have
Bremerton
to
permit.
shut them down.
Yeah, if you could reach out,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Yep. Okay.
Interesting.
It was.
Great. Okay. I did want to say, so completely switching gears, you got, or do you guys have, do you guys know what you're supposed to do?
Don't forget to get us that invite to the Squaxins plan.
Yeah. But as far as the, are we good on the MOU and the path forward on that, and then the,
I'm not clear,
no?
sorry. No.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think we can just move forward with that MOU, but
I was good with it last time, so.
Okay.
you know, it's just, let's get the process going.
Okay.
Let's at least wait for the attorney, and see what he says on this, because this is gonna be something between all of us. There's gonna be a lot of argument over this.
Well, we can move it forward till tomorrow and get ahold of the attorney today.
So you wanna put it on the agenda tomorrow, without any
The
further?
MOU, yeah.
No?
That's fine.
All right, folks, we're gonna have fun now. If that's how we're gonna do it, we'll do it.
Oh,
That's terrible. You don't even give my community an opportunity to come in and weigh, because I've been keeping them at bay for this a little bit so that we don't go to war, but, okay? I think that's disgusting, to not even wait, and give them the opportunity to have it on the
we
agenda.
have been waiting.
You keep saying that, Commissioner. You also did the same thing, when you spent $5 million for
give
private
me-
property up on top of that hill, $75,000 a year for. I'm not gonna stop. This is where it starts. I've been trying my best to work with everybody and to stay within the parameters.
No. When's our next meeting, not tomorrow?
November 25th.
November 25th. Hold on. A second.
We have a holiday, 2 weeks
Right,
from
my
now.
veterans,
Mm-hmm.
and then,
And then the only other board meeting is the 6th, right? The first, other than maybe a budget meeting.
let's see, I think. Tim is out of the office until the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want the
The
attorney to
6th.
weigh in on that, then the next meeting will be as soon as we can do it anyway. Okay. So we'll do it on the, bring it back to us on, wait,
For action on the 6th. And then,
wait, that's a Thursday.
or excuse me, whatever the December meeting is.
The next meeting we have is the 25th,
But you said Tim's out of the office, right, until,
October.
oh, okay.
October 29th.
All right. What month are we in?
I know.
Okay.
Pat, are you okay with the 25th?
That's fine.
Ready? No, you can't say I'm not working with you.
Nope, I appreciate it, thank you.
So, no more outbursts, please.
It's a day for outbursts.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? For many. Okay,
Has been. Okay.
and then I just have one thing for you guys. Tires.
Yes.
Thank whoever went out there and picked up the majority of the tires for the lady.
I don't know who.
What? It was county truck,
Where at?
out on Cole Road. Her name is.
Yeah, no, I know who.
Yeah, and she
Good
was just
smell.
so appreciative, Casey. She says there's 6 or 7 tires left. And she says she wanted to express her sincere gratitude to Raven, because Raven is so amazing. To you, as her words were, out of all my contacts with county employees, Raven has been the most responsive and helpful through this
Nice.
issue. So I want to thank Raven for her amazing
Sounds like a great
job,
story.
and also I want to find out who did it, who picked this up. She
Good
said that they were in a
question.
county vehicle.
Huh.
So if you guys
When
could
was it?
find out, it was last week.
Last week. Yeah.
Last week. This was sent on the 24th.
This is the follow-up, remember the question to Ecology about the grant
Yeah.
assistance for fire?
And they do have that grant
So
assistance.
maybe it was something with health department and
Yeah.
coordination, I truly do not know, good things happen.
If you guys could find out,
Mhm.
and then
Yes.
let me know.
Yep.
Because, wow, that is that's awesome.
Yeah, that is.
Way to treat our county.
You recognize that as a green star?
Absolutely. Well, Raven and Cammy and everybody in that row.
Constantly
done,
doing things that
they
we never
are.
know about, all the good things you guys are
all
up
the good
to.
things. They deserve, Green Stars are great, but they deserve appreciation from the entire county for everything that they do. They're shorthanded right now, and they are
I
just
just try to
doing an
feed 'em.
amazing job.
That's what I do.
Sound like pizza to me, right?
Yeah.
And you do it regularly, and they
Yeah.
appreciate that.
It was tacos last time.
But that's all I had. You guys have anything? All right.
Okay, all right. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, guys. All right, your turn.
My turn? Well, I'm glad you told me, because as is customary at this time, my computer has lost all power, and I'm going to be winging this. So I believe the first item is mine. It's a follow-up to the formation of the Lake Management District for Island Lake. The procedure requires that we have one more public meeting, and so we have scheduled that public meeting for November 25th. We'll be putting notification in the paper for the 6th and the 13th, so that the public will be notified and come in and make public comment should they choose to do so.
So do we set the rate?
No, but that was part of the process that we went through initially, was the determination of how much was gonna be spent each year, and
So what
then
do we do at our hearing?
the final hearing.
Yeah, what exactly do we actually do?
I think it's just to hear,
You
sorry,
get it in
do you
public.
mind if I jump in?
No, go ahead.
Just to
No.
hear them with no action?
Yeah, just to make sure it's for the Island Lake, community to come in and testify if they want, and to finalize the LMD.
So if they're to testify, is there some action that we,
There is a final resolution that's passed at that hearing, yes. And so that's, one of the questions that I have for you as a board. Are you okay with me putting that $50,000 into the budget, assuming that it's going to pass at this time? We'll still have time to remove it if the hearing, if it doesn't pass for whatever reason. But it would be nice to put it in now and just kind of, have it ready.
But the vote passed.
that's
Vote
what,
of the
that's what I'm
citizens.
trying to figure out.
Yeah.
It's just the final step.
It's, it's
But
just
we can still say no?
yeah, I believe that you could, as a board, choose not to, I don't know why that would ever happen, but,
Based on what we know, it is the last step in the statutory process, and we kind of went through it with a fine tooth comb to determine exactly what the steps were, and this is the final step. Even though we have had a meeting on it and we have, the rates were all voted on and everything else, it still does require that last legislative step of having the meeting and doing the final resolution on it.
Okay.
Sounds good. Next.
Okay, I believe Kim is up.
Oh, okay. So, rates for the PEB medical have started to come in. We are recommending a $52 increase to what the county pays towards those medical benefits. That would cover the elected, non-represented, and all of the contracts that are currently under the PEB program, and we would do an amendment to those contracts. We do have one contract that's currently open, and if there is changes to that, we would have to modify that. So some of this is still in draft form, but we do need to go ahead and get the rates calculated because the benefits fair is coming next month, or the first week of next month, and people are gonna wanna know what they're gonna be paying for their insurance. So if you're okay with that $52 addition to the medical contributions, I would request that we
That's for
move
the
it to
whole county? That's great.
That's just our increase to what we
That's
pay,
fantastic.
yeah, our increase to what we pay towards that, so.
So we pay
Somehow I have
$50.
a feeling it's
What do we pay
slightly
now?
So
higher.
right now, basically, if we did the $52 raise increase, it would be $1,202.13 per month that the county pays towards the medical for employees that are just individually enrolled. It's employee only. That covers dental, vision, basic life, and meds. $2,009.47 per month with employees who's one or more dependents. And what we do is we pool that. So basically it comes out to $1,622 per individual account. Because the cost savings that we have for the individuals gets applied to the multiple dependents, balances it out.
Roughly 300 people.
About.
You can probably answer that off the top of your head, but
I think it's probably about that. I can't answer that off the top of my head, but.
Extract some of the commissioned officers that are in those different medical plans.
Right. Great. And we do have, in the budget, I put it at 2005, I just kept last year's budgeted amount. I budget the highest rate possible typically, and that was the highest rate possible for everybody, so our medical has a little bit of cushion in there, so, I mean, I could, do that again this year, and, I mean, budget the $2,010 per month. I can work with you on what the highest.
That's what you've been doing, because that's what we based all these budgets off of. We start changing it, then we'll end with nothing at the end of one of these budgets. You can't take that chance.
So the action item requests to move it to the meeting for tomorrow for adoption of the resolution.
Sounds good.
I'm supportive.
Okay,
John would be next.
nice. Glad you saved me because I didn't have them here. I'll do this. Arrow, John, sorry, I missed yours. Go ahead.
No, I'll be real fast, Commissioners. I have two adjustments for you. We have the money, it doesn't change the budget. It's that we requested equipment 2 years ago. Now as we get to the end of the grant, which is November 30th, we have to shift what items we're gonna buy because I was able to get grant money from others to pay for items that were on this grant. So it's just requesting that the administrator be able to sign the amendment. Doesn't change the budget, doesn't change any items, just exactly what we're purchasing. So that's the first one. The second one is we had got our bill for Code Red ahead of time. This budget is not due in until 26, so we're just briefing you and letting you know that we're requesting a line item for it, so that when we can pay it, and then when the grant comes in, we can reimburse it, because if we don't, then we're gonna end up paying for it. So it's just being able to do some foresight, and
And Code Red is grant funded, right?
it is.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
that's the system where,
That's our alert system.
yeah, which, if you're signed up for it, it works great, so.
Well, and our system is off of the iPause. When we had to send it out for the last fire, we were able to send out the evacuation in 17 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fast when you think about how many people that has to go through to get it out. So yes, it's probably one of the better systems we have. So, and it is grant funded.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
You sure?
Oh,
Support.
thank you, sir.
Both of those.
Thank you.
I'm
So
sorry.
I'm sorry, I support both of them.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Jen, think you're up.
Okay, I'll share my screen if you're okay with that, commissioners. And I don't know how much you want to go through today on the budget. I mean, not a lot has changed since last week. I feel like a broken record sometimes when I bring this to you. So we can go through where we're at, or just go through the PLRs. I know you wanted to maybe wait on some of the PLRs. How do you want to do it today? Do you want just a quick overview and?
Well, I don't know if you should, but I know myself, it's gonna be hard to make the adjustments unless we know what PLRs are going to be. It's not even PLRs as much as it is maintenance and maintenance level. What we've decided is maintenance level is a base that we do. You know, we can't take it back as it is the maintenance level. If we have contracts or everything else, I like seeing those in our numbers so we know how much adjustment we have to make.
Okay. Well, I'll do a quick overview then. In the general fund, right now we have beginning fund balance of 24 million. And as far as I can tell, that looks like it's going to be pretty accurate. The total revenue right now is, in the general fund, is budgeted at $46,630,556.
Jen, excuse me, what file would this be under?
So it's gonna be in the iDrive.
Yeah.
And it is under 2026 budget info. And then each of you have a folder in there.
I got that. What's the file?
It's dated 10/27. It says 2026.
Budget summary?
She
Yeah.
just updates that one all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Tanessa let me know that she did secure a grant for the coroner for $19,000 towards an X-ray machine. So that happened, I think, right after the briefing last week. And the X-ray machines are between $50,000 to $60,000. But the coroner said there's enough in forensic pathology, and it will save enough next year that she has budgeted. She won't need additional budget expenditure, but I would like to put that $19,000 in as revenue and then move that $50,000 or $60,000 from pathology into the capital equipment line.
Doesn't change our bottom line, just changes the line item.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, good.
Good.
Yeah, it'll increase the bottom line by 19,000.
Like that.
Yeah, so that was really good news.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Yes. We're very lucky to have her.
Right?
We talked about the Island Lake LED, so I'll update that.
I can say on a side note, I looked the other day and it appears that she's secured about $580,000 so far this year. So she's
Oh my God.
definitely bringing in some
That's
funds for the
awesome.
county.
Slacker.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Especially in this grant environment, the federal grants with them being so hard to get. So yeah, she's very
And
good.
she's
at
got
what
some
she
good
does.
ones outstanding still, so we'll see.
Thanks for looking that up.
The salaries and benefits right now are at $38,269,579 in the general fund. Operating expenditures are budgeted at $19,093,419, and then ending fund balance $13,267,558. Budgeted FTEs are right now at 289.12, and I'll try to have that ready for next week's briefing, you know, the update to the FTEs through 2026 adopted budget. right now, the policy level requests are a total in the general fund of $2,785,642, and then right now, what's preliminarily been approved is $118,000. $65,000 of that is in the sheriff's office, $50,000 of that is in parks and trails for the zero-turn mowers, and then $3,000 of that in the assessor's office.
So we did say yes to that, I thought maybe we did, but I thought that was being held back, but
I got 2 yeses on that, so I moved it over.
I'm trying to keep the numbers up here.
And we can definitely, again, revisit those if anybody wants to. We'll go through the special funds quickly. So, right now, beginning fund balances in the special funds are estimated for $63,638,394. Revenues are budgeted at $62,397,952, for a total budget of $126,036,346. Salaries and benefits are budgeted at $16,459,698. Operating expenditures at $51,197,520. And then ending fund balances at $58,379,128. And total FTEs right now are 133.91. And in the policy level requests, we have, in revenues, $1,960,054. We have in expenditures $5,893,700, and then we've approved $135,000 for the health department in revenue and expense for PLRs. We did have roads and utilities came in and did their budget requests for the PLRs last week, and I don't think I moved any of those over.
We didn't make any.
Yeah. So
I know what I want, but we didn't make any
decisions
as a commission, I
on
don't
those?
think.
No. Okay, so do you wanna start with the general fund, looking at the PLRs again, in detail, or, I mean, it's already noon, if we wanna do this next week, I mean, I don't.
Well, I'm studying on off time, or not in here, but
Okay.
in my office, and so it's up to these guys.
Like I said, I already know what I want, so it's up to, if we're gonna make decisions and.
Do you want me to go through and update, the medical?
Absolutely.
And I'll do that for next week, and then maybe next week we can go through in detail on these. I just,
And start to knock some decisions down, are you comfortable with that, or? Then let's do that, and then we'll start to knock some decisions down, because then we'll know where we're at, what we're gonna have to do to make arrangements for the long term.
okay, and then I'll try to have, the FTEs, the totals, all finalized, like I said, and to you, and then, I'll try to have more visuals too, so that it's, a little easier to look at.
And I don't know if this would be you, if this would be his department or what, but I understand that during that training thing that they had here, that it came up that a lot of our county organizations, state, stuff like that, we have some hemorrhaging that occurs from memberships, old contracts that we don't even do systems. How would we go about that? What's your recommendation to how to go about that and looking at sifting through? Because I'll bet you it made sense when I heard it, because you do know that we change equipment, but we still probably, because we're government, we pay things, and then we change plans and have memberships we may not actually need anymore, but.
I mean, Mackenzie and Cammie have done a really good job of trying to get all of our agreements, our contracts, and put them online. And I know Mackenzie sends me a report each month on which ones are expiring. I've yet to do anything with that report, but that might be a good
Well, it may not be
start.
your burden to carry.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking, what do you think,
Maybe those are
auditor
other
stuff?
duties that could be
Yeah.
assigned to other people.
Yeah, they could, but that is definitely something that's,
Can you look at that and maybe bring back to us a recommendation on how you think we should handle it, whether it be
Okay.
to go through the auditor's office, whether we handle it, whether, at least see what they are. If we have them all together, we can go through and,
Yeah, sounds like we've got them all together.
yeah, and
Or
we're
staff does.
gonna need help from all the departments though too, because like the
Yeah.
health department, they've gotta have more than everybody, so only they would know which ones are no good.
yeah, and I don't know, I mean, we're trying to make that list, an all-encompassing, list of contracts, but, I don't think we're quite there yet. So.
You're staring at Candy.
She was making the face at me.
Well, like we were saying earlier, if we save 125,000, that might be a person. I don't know. So we'd save more. It's more.
Yeah, for sure. Did you want to add anything, Tammy?
Other than an eye roll.
Sorry to bring that up to you guys, but when I heard it, it made sense. It just
It does
was
make
logical,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we look at it differently because we look at those contracts over and over. We got a new one and a new membership and a new
And
contract for
they
this
add up.
equipment or that equipment.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to look at my list and make sure I hit everything. So, an update on position control. So, last week, Megan and I and Shannon and Michelle met and we're making good progress on that. So I think that it is a possibility that it's going to happen this year.
Yeah,
Knock on
this
wood.
year or
Well,
26?
it has to happen 12/16 of 25 in order to go for next year. So,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that is
Yeah,
so cool.
Very exciting.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of very happy people.
I hope I'm not jinxing it, yeah. But I wanted to ask you if you're okay with me putting together in the detailed budget, the bars lines will all change to that, 510000 for the salaries and benefits. Each individual position will not have the, that individual 4-digit number on the
I know.
salaries.
I do things as a block anyway, so that's not gonna affect how I do budget.
Okay, great, well, I'll move forward with that and have it all prepared like it's going to happen, but I'll have a backup plan to it just in case, but yeah, that'll be good.
So far, I'm ignoring the bars numbers and looking at this stuff, because
Right?
there's too.
It's like Randy says, block.
Too
Yeah,
many.
have to.
Just do the block.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, great.
If I learned you by your number, I wouldn't be able to remember everything or anything else. The brain can only keep so many things in it, things have to fall out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, that's all I have unless you wanna go into any more detail at this point on,
But looking at it next week for,
okay. Great. All right, well, thank you very much.
Okay, good. And I think Kelly has one thing that he wanted to spring on you.
one thing. Oh, he's got it.
Well, just because this came in late. John, maybe. Here's one for you, Trev.
Thank you.
So, motor pool. The Parks Department truck 241, which we call the PERV, which is, the rescue vehicle is dead. It went into limp mode and it can't come out. So we've got to do something for them. So my question to you is, if you look at this list, we're getting 18 new vehicles. Some of the new vehicles, if I keep back a couple of these vehicles and put them in these other places, that would put us with the newer vehicles than we have. So the parks would go from a 2007 with 122,000 miles on it to a Ford Ranger that has 31,000 miles. Understanding that if we do that, we're not gonna make the money
because we're gonna keep back these newer vehicles that we were gonna do.
Okay, so if we keep back, how much difference is it going to be if we were to go ahead and have another replacement per year, per vehicle? That's a lot to ask, and you don't have to have it now, but maybe you can have that for us before we make that decision.
I think it's about 15,000
Per year?
per year, yeah.
I think so too.
And are there any other funds? I know that REIT can't be used for it anymore because of their stuff. Is there any other fund that you see that we could do so it doesn't come out of general
So-
fund?
I just got an email from Ian an hour ago sitting in here that says that he's got a grant for a vehicle, apparently we've okayed it. Same thing could happen, we could take one of these vehicles, leave it there like this, Planning 274, who has 16,000 miles on it, let him keep that and make the grant pay for one of these new ones.
That makes more sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, I like that.
Because a Ranger's not the same as.
Exactly, so I can work with Ian on that and with Jen
Or
on that.
diesel.
Yeah, I'm open.
Okay,
You've been doing an incredible job on that part of the budget anyway. We've been seeing we've seen such savings that we're talking over the life of what we've been doing this, we're talking millions.
You
I'm
can
talking millions since we started doing it, so.
that top list down to this 241, which is in that red where it says broke, that's the only old vehicles we have left.
Wow.
Everything else is 220 or above, so you can see we've done very
I miss the
well.
Corsica.
But we still got a 2008 Chevy Impala out there that is still.
That's still not a Corsica.
It's almost as bad, I think, when you open the door,
Right?
like water falls
Yeah.
out of the towers.
And the other one was green in the doors and everything.
No, I
It's
think
green
that
on the
Impala's
inside and
pretty
the
close.
outside. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
And I do have a couple trucks coming in for the sheriff's office that are gonna be getting a new truck, so I'm gonna be dumping. That potentially could be something I could hold back and get to the.
Yeah, just
to the
keep, if
parks
you don't mind,
department.
keep track of how much more it's gonna cost us per year.
Okay.
But we've saved so much, it makes no sense to start penny pinching too much on this because the benefit we lose is.
I get
great.
that, and I knew that was.
Because you also saved us money by doing, they've saved us money on tires, they saved us money on fuel, they saved us money on repairs, they saved us money on every aspect of it to where.
I know we sold this last 18 cars by, but we're gonna save money by getting rid of these cars, and now I'm telling you, can I keep some back?
But sometimes that's.
So we also have the fire marshal that is retiring, and if we do a contract through the fire districts for that fire marshal, that's one.
Yeah, so the fire marshal collar was car 70, it had 75,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
It's still in okay, running in good shape. That could be something I could potentially move to that parks,
Yeah.
because they just need a vehicle for that ultimate run around back and forth type of stuff.
Yeah.
So they're not in the dump truck or the one ton or something.
Save some money.
Yes.
Cool.
I'll kill
You can keep it if you'd like.
Kinda do.
Just
I
no
like the
paperwork
colors.
for it.
It's just colors.
Does it make sense?
Colors, yeah. Yeah,
Thank you. That's all I had.
very cool.
Okay, two quick questions. One, and I'm glad Mr. Auditor is still here, I have in my email queue a request for me to re-sign the contract for the Albert sensor. I have no history on this. It's my understanding that the previous administrator had signed off on that before. I just wanted to make sure that's something that I do indeed sign off on and move forward with.
I have no
because
issue with it.
Okay, I just had no history, I want to make sure
Well,
that that was.
And at the time, it was questionable for all of us, we were trying to figure out what it was, exactly how it put us at risk or not put us at, there was a lot to it back then, but I think we came to the conclusion that it is what
Done
it
a
is.
great job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did talk to TJ about it, and he said that he actually appreciates that extra layer of monitoring, and so he didn't have any problem with it, but I just want to make sure that that was something that we were doing. Also, I want to follow up on the letter back to Bremerton. It's my understanding that we want to consult with Tim on whether or not that letter in any way obligates us or binds us, and if so, to what extent. Do you want me to forward the most recent version to him with that request? And see what he says? Okay. I will do that and then return back with that information. Okay, thank you.
Then we also have the Board of Health interview. We had one person applied, but we've had more apply after that. So do we want to?
Well, I want to point out something about that interview.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a misconception of what the job is.
I kind of thought that too.
That person was talking about dealing with
Going
staff
out.
directly and going in the field, and that scared the heck out of me. I just wanted to say it has nothing to do with the person,
No.
but we've never had anybody else talk like that for the Board of Health, and when we're on the Board of Health, we know we don't have those authorities. At the very minimum, this person needs to be talked to by, at the minimum, because when somebody's like that, they're like that.
Yeah, maybe we could have Dave reach out to him and tell him what actually the Board of Health does.
Yeah, it seems like that there would be some information sheet on that when they
I
apply.
think there is, when you apply, it tells you what you're.
Yeah, but
what
no, yeah, we
the
not
duties
only
are, but-
we condone it, we will say that you don't have the ability to go
Right.
and do that. That puts everybody at risk, and they don't work for the county.
Not employed.
Yep. It's a lot.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
a little nervous.
yeah, yeah, but we do have other applicants too, so.
How many openings?
5, I believe. Is that right, Cammy?
I think it was 5.
Yeah. Okay,
Can I have one more alibi? I know, roll your eyes. Nobody wants to. The Timberland Regional Library appointment.
Right.
Just wanted to follow back and say that we did, by we, Chris, had a good conversation with them recently. They said that they're fine moving forward with our appointment that's been outstanding for quite some time, and I think they did have a request to move forward with their appointment as well.
I have no problem. Reciprocal.
yeah.
Okay.
Reciprocal.
Okay,
Exactly.
so we will circle back with them
I
and make
believe that's
sure
why
that that's,
That's the
That's
first time
why
that's
we were
happened.
holding
That
off
was,
on theirs,
that
was
was
because they were
interesting.
holding off on ours.
yes, and I think that was understood. So,
Yeah, good.
okay.
So let's get ours through first, just in case.
Yeah,
And then
not that we don't
then we'll
trust
have
them.
it come, so don't put it on tomorrow's agenda, put it on. the
No, I
next-
think our request is more long-standing anyways, and so it seems to be a fair process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, now I'm done. No more alibis.
cool. All right, commissioners, anything?
Move we adjourn.
We're adjourned. Till tomorrow. Well, not until tomorrow, but we'll see you tomorrow.